of the board to adopt.
Move for adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Seeing and hearing none, could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes. The ordinance passes. The police department has asked for an emergency clause. What would be the desire of the board to attach an emergency clause?
Motion to attach emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to attach emergency clause. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes, emergency clause is attached. Moving right along to our next item, which is item number 4, to adopt an ordinance to approve the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Comprehensive Plan. Ms. Bay.
Good evening, Mayor. Since we went over this at the last board meeting in his presentation, I'm just going to ask that we consider adopting this plan that will enable the city to have a good standing when we apply for grants. When people come to the city and ask if we have a comprehensive plan, consolidated plan, that we have this good roadmap that will get us started on to what we're going to accomplish in the future. I think the input from citizens has been excellent. We had over 800 people respond on the surveys. We had very good attendance at the first issue meeting, and we've had input along the way from the planning commissioners, the board, citizens, other agencies, NPO, and so I just ask that you would consider adopting that decision of flat history budget.
Just before the record, prior to this being tabled last month, what has taken place, last 2 weeks ago, whatever, what has taken place since then?
Yes, we had a workshop at 5 o'clock on July 11th with the planning commission, and we went through the draft plan page by page, talked about what it did and what it didn't do, and that it's a roadmap. It's not a binding legal document. It's a way for the city to guide development in a way that corresponds with the things that already exist and the things that we hope to bring about. So it has recommendations for trail development in locations, our master street plan. That way we can get easements when there's subdivision developments. We can have enforce those, to have those in place to build streets in the future. There are land use recommendations. There are housing type recommendations based on the needs of the community. And all of those were went over by the planning commission and the others who were in attendance.
There was another meeting between the citizens and all that, and then there was a board workshop tonight at 5 to discuss.
The hour-long workshop is just immediately before this meeting with our consultant, the main consultant out of Florida. She's had other consultants working with her out of that organization.
And the last thing is our current contract with this consultant is expiring.
Yes, they have fulfilled everything we contracted with them to do. So they produced the maps, did the surveys at the public meetings, coordinated existing information and plans, and made recommendations on study areas that we need more in-depth information to help guide the future development.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Beck?
Thank you for all your hard work. It's taken a year and a half, and I'm very happy with what we've got.
Any other questions? I remind the board again, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It would need to be read 3 times. What would be the desire of the board to have the ordinance read on its first reading?
First reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to have it read on its first reading in abbreviated form. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance approving the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Comprehensive Plan and for other purposes.
Mayor,
Yes.
I plan to object to going to suspend the rules for the second reading, so please split the motion to read it in abbreviated form.
Does that need to be 2 motions, one for abbreviated form and then one for second reading?
Me personally, I think that he can object to voting, period. It can be read in abbreviated form, and, I mean, the research I've done after the last meeting, he can object to have it, he can vote no on the second and the third readings. It doesn't matter whether it's in abbreviated form or full form. He can still object.
Right.
And if it doesn't receive 5 votes, anyway, it's not going to pass, it's not going to get read second time anyway. So there's no relevance, in my opinion, to having 2 motions when they mean the same thing, in my
No,
opinion.
Mayor, I disagree. Our bylaws, one no by a director requires a full reading of the ordinance. I'm trying to just make sure that our city attorney doesn't have to read the full length of the ordinance. That's all I'm doing. If I say no to a combined motion to read it in abbreviated form and go to a second reading, that's a no vote for both. So a no vote for abbreviated form means we're going to read it in its entirety. That's all I'm trying to avoid. If that's where we stand, then I'll vote no for abbreviated form. But that's the way it's done in the past. It was 2 motions.
That's,
Let's just vote in 2 motions. I mean, I think the consensus after our workshop is this is favorable. It may not be, but I would say that we would entertain a motion to have it read on its first reading first, and then vote on that, and then we'll have a meeting to have it read in its abbreviated form, vote on that
Right.
second.
It's already been read. It's first reading. It's already taken place. So we're
All
second
right,
reading.
so I would entertain a motion that the ordinance be read on its second reading.
I'll make that motion.
I second. Motion.
All right, so then we have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading. Could you call the roll, please?
Roberts,
yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
So now we need a motion.
We need
for-
a motion to have it read in abbreviated form.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
So the motion is second to have the ordinance read in its abbreviated form on its second reading. Is there any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Yes.
Brown.
Thought he was gonna vote.
An ordinance approving the city of Texarkana, Arkansas Comprehensive Plan and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire of the board to have it read on its third reading?
Third reading. Third reading.
Second.
So I have a motion to have it read on its second or on its third reading. Would you call the roll, please?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
I'd like to
Now
make
we
a motion that
entertain
we,
a motion to have it read in abbreviated form.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to have it read on its third reading in abbreviated form. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewel,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. I have a question. I'm wondering why we voted yes if we
Well-
separated both of them.
Well, it was my intent to vote
Clarification.
no the first 2 on the suspending the rules, and I messed up. So my votes,
Okay.
that was the mess up on my part, first 2 times.
An ordinance approving the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Comprehensive Plan and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third reading. would entertain a motion to have it read in abbreviated, it's already been read in abbreviated form. How about a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt. Second.
So I have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here to wish to speak for or against? Hearing and seeing none, could you call a roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes, the ordinance passes. Moving right along to item number 5, to adopt an ordinance granting a limited franchise to Bird Rides Incorporated. Ms. Henderson.
Was it scooters?
Everyone, board of directors. This agenda item is only a renewal of the previous agreement. This is for a one-year renewal. We will receive payment of 10 cents per ride for this agreement, and quarterly, that's approximately $160. And this has already been approved by Texas Southern. Are there any questions?
So we've made $160 over the last year?
We make $160 a quarter, so we've made, what, $320, $640?
So it's a pretty lucrative business to be in.
Yes, sir.
I just know that I had issues supporting it in the beginning when we did it. I do have several people that have had issues with them in the past. We're in a rock and a hard place, in my opinion, right now, because there'd be no way for us not to pass this and them not be on our side of town. They're going to be on the Texas side of town.
Right.
I would just say that I will support this tonight, but I would like for you to, and our future city manager, to enter into some early dialogue with the Texas side prior to this being come up again for renewal, because I know there have been some issues. There have been, as we know, some payment issues. So I would just like to point that out, that basically this is a rubber stamp to me, because we've kind of in a rock and a hard place where we can't do it, and there'd be no way to really police having them on that side of town and not on this side of town. So I would like to pledge to open up some dialogue with the Texas side in the future before we vote on this again.
And just for clarification, this is for another year? Is that
Yes,
correct?
We just did a one-year renewal. Texas has done an automatic renewal.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
I was thinking, is there a state law that control this? I thought I read a state law on this issue. Are you aware of that?
Not aware of it.
Because I thought it was about a year ago, or maybe 2 years, there was a state law passed through that the legislators, that the city had to engage with these companies before able to let them have these on the city streets.
I'm not aware
I'm
of
not aware of that. I know there's some requirements on where you can ride them and what you can do and that type of stuff, but I'm not aware of the state forcing you to enter into a contract with them.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so, but, okay.
Any other discussion?
Thank you.
So I remind the board, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It will need to be read 3 times. What would be the desire of the board to have it read on its first reading?
First reading.
Second.
First reading in abbreviated form, or? we're going-
Are we doing that?
Yes, abbreviated
Just go
form.
ahead and say
First
it.
reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have it read on its first reading in abbreviated form. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance granting a limited franchise to Bird Rides Incorporated for the non-exclusive right and privilege to operate a stand-up electric scooter sharing program in areas of the public right-of-way in accordance with applicable law.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
No. Move.
here to
So we would entertain a motion to have the ordinance read on its second reading only.
Second. I move to be
To have
placed
it
on the
read
second reading.
Second reading, we need a second.
Second.
Okay? All those, can you call the roll, please?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes. Then we need a motion to have the ordinance read in abbreviated form.
Second reading, abbreviated form. Second.
So have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading in abbreviated form. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance granting a limited franchise to Bird Rides Incorporated for the non-exclusive right and privilege to operate a stand-up electric scooter sharing program in areas of the public right-of-way in accordance with applicable law.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. I would entertain a motion to have it read on its third and final reading.
Third reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
Got a motion in a second.
Are you doing that?
No.
Would entertain a motion to have it read on its third reading.
Third reading.
No, not the third reading.
Second.
Just have a motion and a second to have it read on its third reading. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes. So we need a motion to have it read on its third and final reading in abbreviated form.
Motion for abbreviated form.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading in abbreviated form. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance granting a limited franchise to Bird Rides Incorporated for the non-exclusive right and privilege to operate a stand-up electric scooter sharing program in areas of the public right-of-way in accordance with applicable law.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire of the board to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Hearing none, could you call the roll, please?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes. Ordinance passes. Moving right on into our last item on our regular agenda tonight, item number 6 is to adopt an ordinance to amend the personnel policy. Ms. Henderson.
Annually, our personnel policy committee meets to make amendments to the city's personnel policy. That committee is made up of members of the police department, fire department, city administration, public works, city clerk, and personnel. The following amendments to the personnel policy were reviewed and approved by the personnel policy committee on June 12, 2023. The first one was to amend section 2.17 to comply with HB 1067 regarding residency requirements for certain firefighters. Section 4.02 was amended to correct the city web address. Section 4.10 for holidays was amended to add birthdays to the holiday list, which was already approved by the board of directors, and to specify that it needs to be taken in the month that it occurs. Section 4.12, occupational injuries and traumatic event counseling, was amended to add Act 537, House Bill 1302 regarding traumatic event counseling, and to bring the policy into compliance. Section 4.13, retirement plans, was to define retirement eligibility for non-civil service employees. An employee who has reached 20 years of service or has reached age 60 with 10 years of service may retire in the eyes of the city. Section 4.16, certificates license in a city pay program, includes certificates for fire safe maintenance department to include HVAC, boiler, plumbing, and electrical, and add the $ in front of each $20 per month for clarity and uniformity. Section 5.04, overtime compensation, will remove the payroll administrator, RSVP director, personnel director, building maintenance superintendent, and housing and youth administrator from overtime compensation list. And finally, section 7.01, general, 7.02, information resources acceptable use policy, 7.03, email and instant messaging policy, and 7.04, internet and intranet policy. We will amend these sections to update and complete the technology policies recommended by the IT department. Are there any questions?
I do have one question. I'm good with everything that's being changed here, but I know we had talked before about putting something in there where employees did an exit interview in writing.
Yes, sir.
Is it too late to get something like that
It's not in our personnel policy, but we can put it into our practices where that is just standard practice for us. We do have a form that we complete anytime an employee leaves, and we can make sure that we add an exit interview to that so that we can have that documentation as well.
I got a question. Would that be, Mayor, I got a question.
Okay, go
Would that
ahead.
be voluntary? That's what I'm asking. Would it be?
We can try to make it mandatory.
Well, I wouldn't make it, I wouldn't want
to
it
do.
mandatory. I think that should be voluntary because the employee leave, he should want to go. I don't think you should make him interview you.
Well, I mean, it really is voluntary because
Oh.
if somebody's leaving, you can't make them do an exit interview. I just would prefer to have something in writing so that we can kind of track why, employees leave.
Yes, sir.
Um,
We can certainly add that as part of our personnel checkoff list when an employee leaves.
Okay.
And
And we
then,
have been getting some.
Yeah.
Since we spoke with you about it.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right.
Turner, will you summarize the residency? It was right at the very beginning. Was that for our department heads or just all employees?
No, there's part of the residency, for firefighters. It requires them to live within the city limits, Rachel?
It actually removes the requirement for city limits for
Right.
emergency call.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Thank you.
The exit interview, is that for all departments, fire, police, and everything?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for every employee. Should be. Any other questions? If not, thank you. I remind the board, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It would need to be read 3 times. I'm assuming that follow the same protocol. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to have the ordinance read on its first reading.
First reading.
Second.
So the motion is second to have it read on its first reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes. Now, would entertain a motion to have it read in abbreviated form.
Abbreviated form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance amending the City of Texarkana, Arkansas personnel policy, including without limitation ordinance number K-570 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading. Second.
So have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Hollibush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes. Now, we had entertain a motion to have it read in its abbreviated form.
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
So a motion and a second to have it read in its abbreviated form on its second reading. Any other discussion? Just call the roll.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
yes,
Yes.
Hollibush, Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance amending the City of Texarkana, Arkansas personnel policy, including without limitation ordinance number K-570 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be desired to have it read on its third reading?
Third reading.
Second.
So have a motion and a second to have it read on its third reading. Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris, Harris,
hold on. Because I was finna get him to read this ordinance. Hold on.
Harris?
Just wait for
Oh.
a second. Because I made that, I was finna say no.
To have it read in abbreviated form?
No, this is just for third reading.
This
Oh.
third reading.
Oh.
No,
Or this,
Yeah,
no,
it's
this is
just to have it
abbreviated.
read on its third reading.
I thought abbreviated form.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay,
just
yes.
third reading.
Yes,
Yes.
Hollibush,
Yes.
y'all get me confused.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Motion for abbreviated form.
Second.
So have a motion and a second to have it read on its third reading in
Now,
abbreviated
this the
form.
third.
Could you call the roll?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Oh, oh. I'm gonna say no.
Hallebush,
I'm going to say yes.
Brewer,
Since I said no, you got to read it in the rest of the vote.
Yes.
Don't matter, so.
Or yes or no?
I already said yes.
Yes.
Jewel,
This is abbreviated form, right? Yes.
Brown,
Yes. So it passes.
No, it didn't.
So does one objection mean you read it in
One
full?
objection means you got to read it.
Objection to
Read it in
that, one objection means you have to read it in full.
Is that per state statute or per our city bylaws?
Yes, and that's
Can we look
state
at?
Motion fails, read the ordinance in its entirety.
That's state statute, if I'm not mistaken.
Unbelievable.
An ordinance amending the City of Texarkana, Arkansas personnel policy, including without limitation, ordinance number K570 is amended, and for other purposes, whereas pursuant to ordinance number K570, the personnel policy for the City of Texarkana, Arkansas was adopted and thereafter has been amended, updated, and restated from time to time. And whereas the Personnel Policy Committee recommends the personnel policy be amended, and whereas the acting city manager and staff recommend approval. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that Section 1, the language contained in Section 2.17 of the Personnel Policy is deleted and hereby restated as follows. Residency policy. The city requires that any employee who is required to be on call or who is subject to being called out for emergency duty of any type shall live within an area which the employee can respond to an emergency call to duty within 30 minutes in accordance with Arkansas Code Annotated 14-53-113. Section 2, the language contained in Section 4.02J of the Personnel Policy is deleted and hereby restated as follows. Subsection J, Catastrophic Leave Bank. The purpose of the Catastrophic Leave Bank was adopted by Ordinance L-287 is to allow eligible participating employees who have exhausted all available leave balances to receive additional leave benefits for extended absences upon submission of a properly documented application. For questions, please contact the Personnel Office or the city's website at https://cityoftexarkanaarkansas.com. Section 3, the language contained in Section 4.10 of the Personnel Policy is deleted and hereby restated as follows. The following are official holidays for city employees: New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, Friday after Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, birthday, December 31st, January 1st, third Monday in January, third Monday in February, Friday prior to Easter Sunday, last Monday in May, June 19th, July 4th, first Monday in September, November 11th, fourth Thursday in November, day after Thanksgiving, December 24th, December 25th, and birthday month. Holidays falling on Saturday will be observed on the preceding Friday. Holidays falling on Sunday are observed on the following Monday. When an employee reports in sick on the day before or the day after a holiday, a signed sick slip may be required before payment for the holiday is made. In circumstances where a conflict exists between employee requests, departmental division seniority shall apply. Vacation will not be approved when it interferes with normal operations of the city or reduce staffing below levels acceptable to the department head or the city manager. Birthdays must be taken during the month the birthday occurs and be approved by the department head or supervisor. Holiday pay is given to all regular full-time employees provided they work on the last scheduled workday prior to and next scheduled workday after the holiday, or had prior approval from the department head to take annual leave. Employees on annual or sick leave during a holiday period will receive holiday pay for authorized holidays. Employees on leave without pay status do not receive pay for holidays. Employees called into work in emergency situations on a holiday will receive double pay for the hours worked. For departments which operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the department head will adjust the holiday leave schedule for non-civil service employees according to the departmental work schedule. The appropriation made by the City Board of Directors for salaries will include additional pay for holidays for all eligible employees of the city, including but not limited to civil service employees as provided by the laws of the state of Arkansas. Police. All law enforcement officers, regardless of their titles, employed by the cities of the first class shall be compensated for all legal holidays established by the governing body of the municipality. The compensation shall be based on the law enforcement officer's daily rate of pay in addition to the regular pay schedule. This compensation may be included within the officer's base pay. The compensation shall be prorated and paid during the regular payroll periods or paid in one lump sum annually on a date in December designated by the municipality. Arkansas Code annotated 1452-105. Fire. All firefighters employed by the cities of the first class shall be compensated for all legal holidays established by the governing body of the municipality. This compensation shall be based on the firefighter's daily rate of pay and in addition to the regular pay schedule. This compensation may be included within the firefighter's base pay. The compensation shall be prorated and paid during the regular payroll periods or paid in one lump sum annually on a date in December designated by the municipality. Arkansas Code annotated 1453-106. All matters in question on leave will be at the city manager's discretion and in accordance with the state and federal laws. Section 4, the heading of Section 4.12 of the Personnel Policy is amended to read Occupational Injuries, Traumatic Event Counseling, and the following is added to the existing language. Traumatic Event Counseling. The city shall approve coverage for licensed counseling for a public safety employee who experiences a traumatic event while in the course of duty according to Act 537 HB 1302. The coverage under subdivision B1 shall allow for up to 12 licensed counseling visits per calendar year. The city shall pay for the licensed counseling visits. The licensed counseling visits may be provided through telehealth. Additional information may be obtained from the personnel office. Section 5, the language contained in Section 4.13 of the Personnel Policy regarding non-civil service employees is deleted and hereby restated as follows. Non-civil service. Texarkana, Arkansas Public Employees Retirement System. The city administers a defined benefit plan for non-civil service, regular, hourly, full-time employees. Employees hired before July 1, 2002 are not covered under any other plan, are eligible for participation in this plan. The city contributes 10% of the employee's salary to the plan. The participating employees must contribute 2% of the compensation to this plan. Employees with 10 years service are fully vested. This is a closed-end plan, and no new participants will be enrolled in this plan effective July 1, 2012. ICMA-RC Deferred Compensation Plan. An employee transition from the TAPERS retirement system on July 1, 2012 will be enrolled in a 401A plan administered by the International City Management Association Retirement Corporation. If an employee has an accrued benefit in TAPERS, the benefit will be frozen and will not accrue any additional amount as of July 1, 2012. The benefit will earn vesting credit with increased service with the city. The city will contribute 10% of the employee's salary to the 401A plan. The participating employee must contribute 2% of the compensation to this plan. All non-civil service employees hired on or after July 1, 2012 will also be enrolled in these 401A plans. Non-civil service regular full-time exempt employees may choose to participate in a separate 401A plan administered by the International City Management Association Retirement Corporation as their retirement plan. The city will contribute 10% of the employee's salary. The participating employee must contribute 2% of compensation to the plan. An employee who has 20 years of service or has reached age 60 with 10 years of service may retire in the eyes of the city. Upon retirement, you will be eligible to receive sick time payout as well as have an option to continue health insurance coverage under the city group plan. All employees are eligible to participate in an ICMA-RC 457 and IRA plan as a supplemental retirement plan. The personnel office should be contacted for additional information about arranging payroll deductions for this program. The remaining language of Section 4.13 regarding civil service employees remains unchanged. Section 6, the language contained in Section 4.16 of the Personnel Policy regarding certificate license incentive pay program is amended to include the $ before the existing 20-month language in this section, and the following language is added to the existing list of departments receiving this incentive pay. Bi-state maintenance, Buller certificate, $20 a month. HVAC certificate, $20 a month. Plumbing certificate, $20 a month. Electrical certificate, $20 a month. Section 7, the language contained in Section 5.04 of the Personnel Policy is deleted and hereby restated as follows. Overtime compensation eligibility. The determination of employees eligible for overtime compensation will be based on the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act provisions for executive, administrative, and professional employee exemptions. Exempt positions include at the city manager's discretion, but are not limited to city manager, finance director, police chief, district court clerk, public works director, parks director, city clerk, fire chief, fire marshal, controller, park superintendent, building maintenance manager, police captain, city planner, assistant police chief, chief probation officer, assistant public works director, bi-state information center director, public works superintendent, assistant fire chief, fire training chief, building official, animal shelter director. Section 8, the language contained in Chapter 7, Texarkana Computer Systems Policy, Section 7.01, General of the Personnel Policy is deleted and hereby restated as follows. 7.01, General, subsection A, Introduction. Information resources are strategic assets of the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, that must be managed as valuable city resources. Thus, this policy is established to achieve the following: to ensure compliance with applicable statutes, regulations, and mandates regarding the management of information resources, to establish prudent and acceptable practices regarding the use of information resources, email, instant messaging, and the internet, to educate individuals who may use information resources, emails, the internet, the intranet, or both, with respect to their responsibilities associated with such use, to ensure the security, integrity, and proper use of the city computer network and all of the city's information resources, to ensure that all information resources are a secure and productive management tool. Subsection B, ownership. Electric files created, sent, received, or stored on the information resources owned, leased, administered, or otherwise under the custody and control of the city of Texarkana are the property of the city of Texarkana. Subsection C, privacy. Electric files created, sent, received, or stored on the information resources owned, leased, administered, or otherwise under the custody and control of the city of Texarkana are not private and may be accessed with the city manager's authorization by information technology employees at any time without knowledge of the employee. Department heads may access and view electronic files within their respective departments. All access shall be through information technology. Subsection D, responsibility. The responsibility for assuring complete compliance with the provisions of this policy rests with the department heads, supervisors, and the individual employee involved. It is a responsibility of email and internet users to stay informed regarding city information that is disseminated electronically. This includes understanding and keeping up to date on system operations. Subsection E, definitions. Information technology. The Information Technology Department of Texarkana Water Utilities is currently charged with the duty of operation and maintenance of Texarkana's computer network. In addition, information technology is responsible for administrating the information security functions within the city network. The Information Technology Department is the city's internal and external point of contact for all information security matters. Information Technology Director. Responsible to the city of Texarkana through the Executive Director of Texarkana Water Utilities for management of the city's information resources. The designation of an agency information resources director is intended to establish clear accountability for setting policy for information resources management activities, provide for greater coordination of the city's information activities, and ensure greater visibility of such activities within and between city agencies. Electronic mail system. Any computer software application that allows electronic mail to be communicated from one computing system to another. Electronic mail, email. Any message, image, form, attachment, data, or other communication sent, received, or stored with an electronic mail system. Information resources. Any and all computer printouts, online display devices, magnetic storage media, and all computer-related activities involving any device capable of receiving email, browsing websites, or otherwise capable of receiving, storing, managing, or transmitting electronic data, including but not limited to mainframe service, personal computers, notebook computers, handheld computers, personal digital assistants, pagers, distributed processing systems, network-attached and computer-controlled medical and laboratory equipment, telecommunication resources, network environments, telephones, fax machines, printers, and service bureaus. Additionally, it is the procedures, equipment, facilities, software, and data that are designed, built, operated, and maintained to create, collect, record, process, store, retrieve, display, and transmit information. Internet, a global system interconnecting computers and computer networks. The computers and networks are owned separately by a host of organizations, government agencies, companies, and colleges. The internet is the present information superhighway. Intranet, a private network for communications and sharing of information that, like the internet, is based on a TCP/IP, but is accessible only to authorized users within an organization. An organization's intranet is usually protected from external access by a firewall. It is a closed network of computers across a local area network that work together to share information in a secured environment. User, an individual or automated application or process that is authorized to access the resource by the owner in accordance with the owner's procedures and rules. Vendor, someone who exchanges goods or services for money. World Wide Web, a system of internet hosts that supports documents formatted in HTML, which contains links to other documents and to audio, video, and graphic images. Users can access the web with special applications called browsers, such as Google Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. Subsection F, disciplinary actions. Violation of this policy may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Additionally, employees are subject to loss of the City of Texarkana Information Resource Access privileges, civil and criminal prosecution where appropriate. All agencies using the Texarkana Computer Network outside the City of Texarkana, Arkansas shall adopt and enforce these policies as a condition of continued use. Subsection G, cyber security training. All city employees shall participate in the cyber security training program administered by Information Technology to follow industry best practices. Section 9, the language contained in the first bullet point under Chapter 7, Texarkana Computer Systems Policy, Section 7.02, Information Resources Acceptable Use Policy of the Personnel Policy is deleted and restated as follows. All employees shall abide by the security instructions, rules, directives, or other security communications as contained in the addendum policy, and that may from time to time be issued by Information Technology Director. See addendum, acceptable use of information resources policy. Passed and approved this 17th day of July, 2023.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. A motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So a motion and a second to adopt. Any other discussion? Prior to the board voting, does anyone wish to speak for or against this particular ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, could you call the roll, please?
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
No.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Jewell,
No.
Brown,
Yes. That's only four. It takes five, right? Isn't that right? Takes five for an ordinance?
I think it's four.
Four.
It's five for
It's five to
emergency
suspend the
clause.
rules.
Five on the
Four.
It's five to suspend the
I
rules.
haven't had that in a while, so I have to refresh myself.
Yeah, it was four.
Four. Ordinance passes. Moving right along to board commentary. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? Director Roberts.
I'm gonna keep it short. But first of all, Ms. Nelson, I appreciate you coming. I know Lakewood is horrible. Oh, the roads, yeah, we have a $150 million road problem, plus. And which I'm not as familiar with the other wards as I am Ward 1. But I know Public Works gets tired of hearing me call, emails. We are working on it. It's not a quick fix. I posted this a while back. Everybody pays taxes. I pay plenty, you pay plenty, but the bulk of what you're paying, the city doesn't get.
It's time to change the rules.
Well, we can't.
You can change the rules.
Well, the city gets, the school district gets the bulk. And like on my street, there's the houses that are between all of us, there's 8 houses. And on city street taxes, on 8 houses, it's $21.18 a year that all of us pay together. The average homeowner pays between $8 and $12 a year in city street taxes, which amounts to $800,000.
Means nothing. We're not getting anything done the way it is. You've got to change something.
Okay, I mean, I understand, but we can't do it by ourselves. And you've got, I mean, the county millage, it's half of what it could be, but by increasing that, you're increasing your taxes. I mean, it's a give and take somewhere, and the city can't just go in and say, we're taking 50% of this. It doesn't work that way. We can't. And as a city right now, we are doing everything possible. Tyronda, we've got a grant writer that is helping us now. The way the tax system is structured, we're one piece of it.
I realize that.
And
That's the reason I say you got to change the rules.
well, that's just what I wanted to add to make sure that everyone knew the bulk of what we pay
I've been
is.
told that for what? We came up and talked to the city manager 2 years ago
Mhm.
and was told then, there's nothing we can do. This is the little bit that we get, and that's all we can do. Well, all of us are hard of hearing it.
I understand.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying you can change the rules.
I mean,
Along the lines, you have to go up to the state and tell the governor up there you want the rules changed. You gotta do something different from what you're doing.
I encourage any citizen to come and speak, especially from my ward. I love to have citizens come and explain. I try to keep in contact. I mean, I've talked to your son numerous times.
Everybody
And-
knows, almost everybody knows this, and like,
Certainly, but not just the city board. Go to the school board, go to the quorum court meetings. It's not just us. I mean, you've got all entities that are involved. When you look at your tax statement, it's going to tell you where everything goes. And that's where you need to start making those changes.
I understand.
And I can tell you, we're not wasting any money. I mean, just in our ward, in the past 3 years, we've done Shell Drive, we've done Union, we've done Boyd, we're fixing to do Rolling Ridge, we've done part of Stallion. We are getting asphalt laid. It's not near as fast as I would like for it to, but we are working. Public Works is working day and night on issues like this and passing what we did a month or so ago on the potholes. We were very progressive in trying to get that done. I mean, we are doing everything we can, and we do not want to put any tax burden on any other citizen. And absolutely not.
You can chop up the money a little bit different from what you chopped up right now.
I understand, but that's all I had, Mayor.
All right, any other board member?
No.
Director Harris?
I don't see if anybody else. Well, I know you had mentioned something about the bond issue, and I say I'm probably the only
May I
person.
say something else? I can't hear you.
I said, I know you had mentioned something about a bond issue, back then. If I heard you wrong when you got up and spoke, I'm probably the only board member that been up here when that 2013 bond issue was passed. And what I'm getting at is that the citizen did pass a bond issue for streets, but they spent $10 million out in Crossroad by building a 4-lane highway versus a 2-lane highway. No, 2-lane would have cost just as less, but what I'm getting to, if this board come back and ask y'all citizen for a bond issue, y'all need to make us specify what road need to be done before y'all try to approve anything. That way that this board can get up and change the process once the citizen agree to something. Because when the citizen agreed to that bond issue back in 2013, y'all may thought y'all neighborhood streets was gonna get done, but like I said, $10 million of that $20 million bond was spent out there in Crossroad for a 4-lane highway. And far as ain't nothing came out there, no more than the school or the middle school. So what I'm trying to say is, if we was to come, or someone was to come to ask the citizen, make a long story short, to do another bond issue, to do road, make this governing body specify what road that you gonna do, or y'all should not agree to that anymore. That's what I see. And Miss,
I wondered, because I don't have it in front of me anymore, but I thought it said streets, not a street.
Right.
It looked like we got a street instead of doing streets.
Okay.
Because nobody got any benefit except that new road that was put in and where they put the hotels.
Right. And Miss, I am.
Everybody was disappointed because I think everybody thought like I did, we were gonna get our streets fixed, not spent on one.
Right, and I didn't vote for that $10 million bond out in
So I
Crossroad.
did, thinking we were going to do something with our streets.
No, I voted for that, but the board made that decision to spend the $10 million out in Crossroad. Y'all voted for getting streets done. Right, yes, ma'am.
Miss
But-
Nelson,
But
if I can get your contact information, I can send you a list of all the streets that were paved. And I've got a complete list of those, and I'll get it after this meeting. So
And-
you'll have a complete list of all the streets that were included
Miss-
in that 2012
I
bond
don't-
issue. You're welcome.
and I don't remember your name, but I know where you stay at and stuff. But I am going, for this year budget, to put from Pinehurst all the way to Drone Street up to you, getting it done. I did a workshop about 2 weeks ago, and the street that I recommend, Drone Street and Pinehurst Street, to get done during the budget process. So,
Any other board commentary? If not, we will adjourn our meeting. We have an executive session to consider an appointment to our Public Facilities Board and get an update on our city manager process.